What's up everybody, it's Lethal Air, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you a few of my personal build strategies or building methods I've used sort of my own free time and thought to myself, what could I make to replace the current sort of things that people do. When people ramp rush, everybody knows what a ramp rush is, what it looks like. Already by now, there's tons of videos on how to counter ramp rushing. So I want to introduce this idea called box rushing, or you're technically building a portion of a turtle box. You could call it turtle ramp rushing or box rushing or turtle rushing. Anyway, before I get into that though, what I want to show you here is my aim training course. This is something I use for about 4 hours a day, and I thought it through. I tested it plenty of times. Try it out, let me know what you think. I've added a new sniper, so it's up to date. And also, if you haven't left a like on the video, please do that. Without further ado, let's get into it. So here you can see I'm on 2560x1440. That's the resolution of my monitor, but I'm using 1600 by 1200 stretched, and I'll link a video. What I'm basically going to start with is using the triangles. This is one separate tip in its own, just to make 180s. This is a cheap way to get high ground. You probably don't want to use this if you're getting spammed at though. And for those of you who are really fast visual learners, I'm going to go ahead and show you the next one. I call it a diagonal 180. Basically using the same roof piece, but you edit up one corner and you build wall platform roof. Pretty simple. If you need to slow-mo the video, I'm actually going to show it again here in a second. So when you start this build, make sure that you're standing in the right spot. As you can see here, when you're mid-jump, it gets really weird. Sometimes it just doesn't place when you're in mid-jump. And if you place it in mid-jump anyway, you would get boxed under. So just make sure that you practice this enough. And it's just, like I said, a cheap way to get some high ground if you're not being spammed at. You're going to save some materials as well. And there's a good chance that you could probably pull this off a few times in a build battle. And if you do, the benefit of it is that you can't be coned because, well, you're already standing on top of a cone. The key to this build is most definitely speed. If you're going to use this in a build battle, don't even plan on it if you can't do it as fast as possible. The second variation though, and feel free to slow-mo this video, is simply editing up a corner, wall platform roof, editing up the opposite corner, and just repeating. That's pretty much it. If you could pull this off in a build battle, then you're a god. It's so simple though that I have no doubt that the average player can. There is a big if though, and that's only if you practice. Next build, roof, wall, jump, platform, roof, wall, jump, platform, roof, wall, jump, and then a platform. So when I started initially creating and learning this build, I thought of the idea before I could actually build it. Also keep in mind, you can start off the base with a ramp, and this is the slowest speed that I would recommend actually trying to pull this off in a build battle. Any slower than this in most cases is going to be too slow. Also, there's some variations I want to add to it as well, so stay tuned to the video. And speaking of variations, for those of you who already know this ramp rush, you can get some extra style points by rotating your camera counterclockwise. Now before you do any of these variations, please make sure you follow the exact order that I'm placing these. Otherwise, it won't work. Or it might work, but it'll just be slow. So in that case, yeah, it won't work. And by the way, both of these builds look almost exactly the same, and that's going to be your advantage. So as soon as you can practice this and get it to the speed that I just showed, then you're ready for the variation. All you're going to do for that is just edit up a corner and just continue doing the same build. You will find out that that edit is very necessary. Also, I'm going to throw in a bonus build. This one I'm not going to break down, but if you get it, you get it. You know, if you have the time to practice, go ahead and do that, because this is an extra layer of protection that'll keep you from getting shot down as quickly. Let me go ahead and deter anyone from thinking that you could just use a ramp instead of a roof with this technique. I mean, feel free to try it, but the problem is you can shoot out one platform at the bottom and break the entire build. Also, when you're starting this out, It's very easy to put a roof piece over your head, so watch out for that as well. One of the benefits of this build is the structural integrity. Like most ramp rushes, you can shoot out 2 layers on the bottom, but anyone taking that long a time to shoot out your build is vulnerable to be shot. Also, this is what it looks like from underneath. I'm gonna demonstrate and shoot out the bottom 2 layers just to break the top. Keep in mind though that even though they can shoot 2 layers to break it down, where you're gonna be is 1 platform above the second layer they shoot. The next benefit is that you can 1-punch edit down, and hopefully not from that height. This build gives you the ability to be completely unpredictable. And if your opponent isn't higher than you, there's no way that they can shoot you. Because as you're building this, all of your walls are going to be in front of you to block any incoming shots. And if you're wondering what inspired me to start this build out, I was kind of bored, but if we're being honest, I was watching Tfue 1v1 Bugha, and he used some roof piece techniques that I wanted to incorporate into my own style. I wanted to make it practical, something you could learn probably in a day and just use if you practice. Unfortunately, YouTube's terms of service is constantly changing, and for that reason, I don't really want to take a risk. Just wanted to point that out though. I'm sure you guys already know. So I want to point out the reason why I do that extra edit in this build, and it's simply because if you're shooting it from the side, it looks almost like the roof piece is helping to hold up something. I did that in hopes that it might buy you some extra time. So to wrap up this video, when you're starting off this build and you don't want to box yourself, you can either make sure that you don't look too far down, or you can place the roof piece before you place the walls. I mean, it's perfectly fine if you place the walls first, it's just going to take a little bit more precision. And the extra edit that I do, it's really not necessary at all. It just might buy you some extra time though if someone's trying to shoot you from the side. I hope that this helps out and you can just add it to some of the builds and strats that you already use. Make sure that you compare it to other ramp rushes like I do here. I'm just shooting them out from the front, and these are the regular ramp rush, the ramp rush with the wall on the side. I've just shot out the wall and the ramp. When you get to my build, like I pointed out, I'm shooting out the wall and I'm shooting the ramp. They may not know that it's not holding up anything, but in this case they would have to shoot out 3 things, and it just gives you that much more time. So after that test, my build was the only one standing, and that's with the extra edit. So with that, I'm going to leave you with a few of my solo clips. If this helped you out in any way, guys, feel free to let me know down in the comment section. If you liked this video, if it helped you out, leave a like. Don't forget that I have an aim training course. Check that out and let me know what you think of that as well. Also, feel free to message me on Twitter. I usually respond right away unless I'm doing something focus intensive like making a video. For those of you who are starting your first week of school, I wish you the best. Get those good grades. Make sure that you're not watching my videos in class though. But if you are, tell your friends to subscribe. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next time.